All we talk is money.
Welcome to Soz Talks Money. I'm your host, Adam Sosnick, and today we're talking money with hospitality entrepreneur extraordinaire, Mr. Keith Menin.
Wow, happy to be here.
Keith, welcome to the show. Give us a little rundown of what Keith Menin has going on right now.
Menin Hospitality, we do it all. We do hotels where we own or we manage hotels. Everything from small hotels like the Sanctuary Adam mentioned we still have today, from 30 rooms to the Manjan, that's 350 rooms. We do restaurants, fine dining restaurants through a company called LDV, one on the board that has fine dining like Scarpetta, American Cut, and are in the Fontainebleau in Las Vegas and everywhere. Then we do our own bars and restaurants like Bodega, Ricky's, Haves and Holes. So we really like to do all hospitality from all angles of it. I was able, with my partner Jared, to build this big machine. Little shout out to Jared, so we keep Soz happy. To build this big machine where I said, hey, look, I can do it all. Right. So, if someone said to me tomorrow, hey, Keith, you have to take over the hotel down on Brickell tomorrow. Yeah. Lights out. We're changing companies. I could bring 300 people there and technology and infrastructure and change and do it overnight. It's hard to kind of have that platform. We've invested in that platform. Yeah. So now that we have that machine going, now it's about where do we put it. So now I'm constantly chasing what deals fit our brands. Because now we have the right brands and we have the right bandwidth.
Now you've got dozens and dozens of businesses going on. But let's focus on one business and maybe give some advice to the kids at home of what it takes to start one business. So maybe just tell me, what business are you most proud of that you're working on right now?
I think my favorite one is a restaurant and bar, little fun combination we have called Bodega. Taqueria in the front, which is an everyday taco stand, just great funky tacos, and this little kind of speakeasy bar in the back that has this porta potty door, and the bar in the back really didn't have a name. So the idea was that I wanted you to text someone saying, hey, come to this bar called Bodega, them get there and walk into a taco stand and say, this is the bar.
You got me walking into a taco stand?
Taco stand, crazy design, and then somehow find the bar in the back.
Thank you. Let's have the taco thing in front. You walk in through this little porta potty door and open up this amazing, one of the coolest bars you'll ever see.
Looking back, the budget was nothing, but I was over budget. And I was nervous, like, is it gonna work? I put a lot of money into this thing. I like it, but I want my friends will hang here, but is everyone else to hang here? Right. I remember I walked outside and I peeked out the corner, I saw the line wrap around the building. Yeah. I was like, wow. So at that point I realized, okay, we're on to something.
Let's talk numbers. You ready?
All we talk is money.
Walk us through, all right, I got this idea, now what?
So just like your first question of, do I have a budget personally? And I said no. In business, I always do. Yeah. So here, I think the first step in trying to open anything, whether it's a restaurant or a bar, but let's say a bar because we're on the bar, is to define the concept. That's step one on paper. Boom, what is a concept? And you have to kind of figure out like what the personality is. It's like raising, a child. Pick out where do you want to go? What are you going to wear? So we define a concept. We define what the bar is, the taco stand. We say to ourselves, okay, where should it be? Like, where's it going to work? Because there's many places you can go. And our demographic, let's go kind of away from all the action on Collins Avenue. Let's get away from everybody. In this weird warehouse next to a Starbucks and a weird alley.
Cheaper rent, probably. I mean, I'm assuming. Right?
Cheaper rent. And so, that's our spot. And I think when you finally have to come up with a budget, and everything is done per square foot. So you have to say, okay, how many square feet am I taking? I'm taking 4,000 square feet. And then it's, what does it cost to do? When you add up what everything costs, from floors and furniture and lighting and POS and music and sound and equipment and bar and opening inventory, there's probably a list of like 50 things.
Like all before you've made one red cent.
All before you even get a cent.
Right.
And you have to figure out what that costs. Then you say, okay, if I can do all these 50 things for $400 a foot, which means at $1.4 million, that's your number. You say to yourself, does this work? And then before you start going, you should do a pro forma and say, what can I make? And you have to assume a lot, right? If I do this thing, what revenue comes in? What expense associated? And that bottom number from your projection divided by this development number will give you a payback. And so, for example, we spent $1.5 million on Bodega. We thought we would do $4 million of gross sales. Food cost is 30%, labor is 30%, rent 30%. We thought we'd probably make $600,000 a year. So we said, you know what? If we spend $1.5 million and make $600,000 a year, it's less than a 3-year payback. Right. Not bad.
Is that like a formula? Like talk about a formula and the numbers and the payback time.
Everyone kind of has their own things. But for me at the time, I said, you know what? To invest $1.5 million and do a cool bar, if we can really make $600,000 a year, we got our money back in 2.5 years. I'm in the game. So that was what we projected we were going to do. Spent $1.5 million. I know how to build, so I'm easy to manage it. But for someone else, the first step is write everything down. What does the operating system cost point of sale? What does furniture cost? What do the finishes cost? What's the design? Who's your designer? What's the aesthetic? You have to come with a concept. So the first step is come with a concept. Second step, find a space. Third step, do a budget. Fourth step, do a pro forma. And if all those things make sense, you have a project. So that's what we did. So in our sense, at Bodega, we thought we would do $4 million a year. I think our first year we ended at almost $12 million. So we did beyond imagination success.
You put in 1.5 to all in expenses. You're expecting 4 million gross sales,
which would probably net 15%, 12%, maybe 600,000. It's a bar.
So that's how that works. Talk about gross versus net, because there's a big difference at home between we made $4 million. It's like, no, motherfucker, you made 600,000. There's a gross versus net factor,
so
right?
Gross sales is what gets ringed up inside a computer system. It's every day what sales come in. But when you get sales, you have to pay things. Cost of goods sold, which is your food, your liquor, your ingredients, which is normally probably 30%. Is really what that costs, the food or the liquor. Then you have your labor. What does it cost to run this thing? So we say it's another 30%. So if you do $4 million in a bar, 50 to 60% of it, the first is gone between your
$2.5 million is gone.
Buying liquor, paying salary, paying overtime, paying insurance, paying everything else. Then you have your fixed bills. Your rent,
such as your lighting,
your electric, your gas, your lighting, your subscription to POS, all those other fixed expenses, which can be anywhere from 15 to 30% depending on the venue.
So it just went from 60 to now you're factoring another 10 to maybe 20, 30%. So like you're at almost 80% right now, gross, before you even take a penny out.
Correct. So if you do $4 million of business, and you're a fine dining restaurant selling steak and lobster and a maitre d' and a hostess stand, you have to figure you're going to spend 30% cost of goods sold, 30% labor, 30% fixed, and try to make 10%. So business,
to make 10.
try.
That's the number? Wow.
And that's try. I mean, that's working it. Now the good news is when you go from 4 million to 6 million, your fixed costs stay almost the same.
That's all.
Costs go up a little bit more.
Right?
So now that 400,000, you're making 850, 800. So the trick is, like I would say, sales solves every single problem. If you have sales, you're good.
Like you said, SaaS solves every
SaaS
problem.
can also solve. So that's been this great ride at Bodega.
Quite specifically, how do you even come up with 1.5 million? You got to go to a bank. You had some capital of your own. You had
all
partners,
different ways.
You had investors. What's that about?
There's all different ways. Getting a bank to finance a new concept restaurant or bar is nearly impossible.
Really?
So unless you're a thoroughbred in the game, it's high risk, right? Because if you don't make it, what do? What's your exit? You try to sell the couch you just bought. Used kitchen equipment is always worth zero. The speakers you can't sell. So to get a bank finance is very hard. So I think you either have to partner with friends or family and raise capital, or you have your own capital. But I will say that you're probably going to raise capital with people's expectations managed. So I don't really normally raise capital from friends, but I have friends that do that in their companies. And my advice is always, don't overpromise, underdeliver. Let them know this is a risky investment. It's a fun investment. Your money may be gone. It may not be gone. This is the riskiest. The restaurant bar business is probably the number one risky business in the world.
You got a lot of young entrepreneurs out there that want to get into the hospitality business, the nightlife business, maybe open up a bar. What do they 100% need to know before they get involved in that business, and 100% they need to know to make their business successful?
I would say, one, have a great plan. Make sure the plan works, the concept works. Two, do an intelligent development budget and really know what it's going to actually cost to deliver this plan. And three, do a pro forma of business and how much money you can actually generate. Because at the end of the day, generating money is all that matters. If you have a great place with your friends, there's no money, it'll be gone pretty soon. So focus on revenue. And when all those things work, stay relentlessly focused to be successful. Put blinders on, make it happen.
All we talk is money.